Hey everybody, Green Films Official here. Now, if you've seen my community tab, you'd know that I teased a video for Hunt for the Wilder People, and don't you worry, that video is still coming. But earlier today, I watched Godzilla Minus One, and as a Godzilla fan who really freaking loved it, I feel obligated to review it. So, Godzilla Minus One is the first live-action Godzilla film to come out of Toho in 7 years. The film is set in post-war Japan and centers around the devastated citizens of Tokyo as they try and fight back against a gigantic monster that's terrorizing them. Ah, man, it feels really good to have a serious Godzilla movie again. As fun as goofy stuff like Godzilla vs. Kong can be, sometimes it's nice to have something that feels, a little more serious and grounded. A film that really packs an emotional punch and makes you truly care about what is happening. The human plotline in this film is one of the greatest human plotlines in the entire franchise, and the film's protagonist, Shikishima, might actually be the single greatest protagonist in the entire franchise. Shikishima is utterly devastated by his survivor's guilt and tries at every turn to avenge his fallen brothers whose deaths he believes were his fault. He feels so sickened by himself for having survived the events that transpire at the start of this film because his country has led him to believe that dying for your country is the most honorable way to go. And then the film goes on to tell this beautiful story about how he's able to find forgiveness in himself through the love of the people around him, and it's just stunning. It's a really great exploration of how imposing the belief that dying for your country is some great honorable thing creates negative results and is just a really compelling character arc on its own. I really gave a shit about this guy. I freaking loved him. He's flying around in a plane at the end of the movie as part of a plan to stop Godzilla. And I love that the suspense comes less from, oh no, Godzilla's gonna kill us all, and more, no, Shikishima's probably gonna kamikaze himself into Godzilla or something. Man, it just feels so good to care about a human character in a Godzilla film this much. The destruction sequences in this film aren't mindless spectacle at all. They are goddamn horrifying. They feel like watching an actual disaster unfold or something. Like, I don't think since the original 1954 film have the destruction sequences in a Godzilla film held this much emotional weight. This movie's version of the atomic breath, while not quite the most apocalyptic we've ever seen, thanks for the nightmare, Shin, is bone-chilling. You are not ready for the scene where he uses it for the first time. It doesn't matter how much you prepare, you are not ready for the scene where he uses it for the first time. Godzilla is terrifying in this movie. He is an absolute beast. He is so scary. Including the aforementioned atomic breath moment, there are some straight up horror scenes in this thing. One scene in particular that stands out in my mind, which can only be described as Jaws but with Godzilla, involves Shikishima and company on a boat as Godzilla just slowly approaches and they're doing everything they can to ward him off. It's genuinely really scary. And then this giant ship arrives and starts shooting at Godzilla, and for a brief moment you think they're saved, and then Godzilla just quickly turns to that ship and just tears it apart in a matter of seconds. It's pretty common knowledge at this point that Godzilla is an allegory for the horrors of nuclear war, but in this specific movie, I like to view him as like a double allegory. Like, I also like to see him as the personification of Shikishima's guilt, constantly following him and haunting him wherever he goes. Almost like he's this callous creature that exists as a constant reminder to Shikishima why he thinks he's a failure. There's a lot this film says about PTSD and like self-hatred, and I love that it's able to convey all these things through its titular monster. Oh, and I think it also bears mentioning that the way Godzilla is shot in this film... Shit, Godzilla's on his way to kill me in real life. The way Godzilla is shot in this film truly makes him feel massive. You really get the sense that he's this humongous beast looming over these poor people. And there are other things that make him feel massive as well, like how he steps on the ground and it snaps upwards. I quite love the sets in this film. They're very authentic to life in Japan after the bombings, and the CGI for this movie's budget is incredible. And the acting is pretty good as well, which helps the moments of human drama just really hit. At the end of the day, Godzilla Minus One is just really, really great. It has a fantastic story with a phenomenal protagonist. Godzilla is an absolute menace, and it hits emotionally where it needs to. I don't think it's quite to the same level as the original 1954 film or Shin Godzilla, at least not after a first watch, But you know what? It's definitely up there. Just as a film, it's the best Godzilla movie we've gotten in years. I got pretty much everything I wanted out of it, and I can't wait to see it again. Heartbreaking, horrifying, and moving. It's just phenomenal. If you enjoyed this review of Godzilla Minus One, why not leave a like and subscribe if you haven't already? Your support really helps out. I also have a Letterboxd page you can look at, link for that is in the description. And I hope to see you next time when I analyze Hunt for the Wilder People. But until then, bye!